Makes me feel this
Yeah.
way. Ain't nobody
Yeah.
like Tom Cairney.
Uh-huh.
Ain't no makes me happy.
Makes me feel this way.
Yeah.
Okay, we good to go. Right. Hello and welcome to what is now episode 6 of A Full English. As always, we have a guest, but we also have Sam. Introduce yourself, Sam.
Hello, I am Sam.
Ah, well done. Introduce yourself.
Hello, I am Daniel.
Brilliant. There we go. These are the two guests. They're both thrilling. Well, not two guests. There's a co-host and a guest. Apologies, Sam.
Brilliant.
Every
week.
Every week I do claim host responsibilities. I'll keep hitting this. Is really bad. Okay.
Take your cap off.
No, right? No, there's no cap here. All right. Hey, get it? Because cap means
Yep.
lies. Cool. Anyway, lads. It's been an interesting week that's seen Liverpool brought tumbling back down to earth, wouldn't we say? I mean, it's been pretty tasty.
Embarrassing.
Turn vibrate off your phone down. If you want to be a guest on this podcast, was it Sam? Right, sorry, Dan. I'm sorry I went off at you. Sam, that is disgraceful. Turn vibrate off your phone now.
I
It's
don't
not
get,
people
I
to
don't
hear.
get enough text for that.
Yeah, neither.
Anyway, so we'll do the usual. We'll round up the scores. We'll go on to Twitter trending. State of this. Wonder Kid Watch predictions. We all good.
Yeah, let's do it. Woo!
Sweet. Okay, so the first game that we're going to round up was Watford. They absolutely battered Liverpool. I wonder who had money on this, because not a game that you predict Liverpool to slip up in, considering Watford's up and down form over the season. What do you say?
No, it was a big shock, and the whole country rejoiced at once. I think when that third Watford goal went in,
Celebrations on the streets, I've heard.
it was unbelievable. I don't think it would stop Liverpool winning the league, but no, it was certainly embarrassing, especially as their last result as well, which we'll go on to later. But yeah, Watford dominated large spells of the game. Liverpool tried to get back into it, but Watford were unrelenting, and defensively they were a brilliant unit. And Nigel Pearson's got to be proud of his team, really.
Yeah, completely. Speaking of units, Troy Deeney got a goal in this game, but the main talking point was, of course, Ismaila Sarr, who we are all now worshipping as our Lord and Saviour.
We are.
An incredible brace from Sarr. And yeah, that condemned Liverpool to their first loss of the season, Dan. Did you see them going unbeaten, or did you see a Watford win inbound? Or maybe not Watford, but someone beating them.
Well, Watford is a tricky place to go away. I mean, Man United lost there before, a couple of
It's
other
not that
teams.
tricky.
Yeah. To be fair. But yeah, Mane did warn Deeney to look after Ismaila Sarr, and it's come back to bite them. So
Exactly, there we go. But yeah, no, so that is Liverpool. They have lost a game of Premier League football. Something I didn't think I'd be saying this season, but they have. As an Arsenal fan, I'm rejoiced. Speaking of which, our Twitter was great. We just sort of retweeted their loss, just going phew. So, you know, only one word needs to describe that, because we are still the only team with a Golden Premier League trophy. But yeah, enough flexing that lovely looking trophy. Shall we move on to a 5-goal thriller at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, in which Wolves, they took a 3-2 win away at Tottenham. Jose's Spurs up and down at the minute. I keep hitting this mic, this is really bad. But yeah, no, Steven Bergwijn, he opened the scoring. He's like a decent signing for them, isn't he?
Yeah, no, he has. Sorry, I was just off on a look at your cap when
It's too good, isn't it?
yeah, it's very, very nice. They should take it off. But yeah, no, he's been a good signing. He's brought a bit of energy, a bit of quality. He's got a quite good end product, to be fair. And yeah, I actually really rate him. I said when he came in that he'd be a good signing for Spurs, and he's definitely proved that with the lack of Kane and yeah, just a lack of getting results. He's kind of coming up with goals in the times he needs to.
Completely, yeah, because they've lacked a bit of a goal-scoring threat, and he's come in and he's sort of plugged that gap. I mean, not to the same extent that Kane does, but he's certainly plugged it to a certain extent. But it was Matt Doherty, the goal-scoring wing-back, who equalised 1-1. Then Serge Aurier, of all people, one of the most overrated players in world football, put Spurs ahead just before the break. It was a Diego Jota goal, however, that brought Wolves back. It was a bit of a ding-dong battle between the two. One goal in one end, one goal in the other, as Dan was trying to explain to me at the start, before the podcast was recording. And he confused me like mad, but it's actually fairly simple. And then, yeah, and then Raul Jimenez, Wolves' talisman in terms of scoring, put them 3-2 ahead, and they saw out the game. Big win for Wolves. Wolves are up to 6th, thanks to that, only behind United in 5th on goal difference. And yes, second season running, Wolves win at Tottenham. Got a remarkable record in London, but there we go.
Quick question. You said Sergio Aurier, one of the most overrated players in Europe. Who rates him?
That is very true. Probably not even his parents, to be honest with you. Overrated is probably the wrong term. More like, I don't know, terrible. Just, yeah, one of the worst players I've seen ever play football.
Probably just that one ball boy that gave him the ball.
He's feasting off of a World Cup.
It was actually a good finish, to be fair. He cut in from just outside the box and put it in, to be fair.
Yeah, he's it was good
If
goal.
anything, he's rated that badly that he's underrated.
You know what? That's actually probably a fair assessment of things. Let's move on. A slightly less exciting game, but for different reasons. This game was entertaining. We go over to Goodison Park, where Dan, your Man United, had a bit, would you say, a shocker or such?
I wouldn't say it was a shocker. I'd say we probably should have won the game with our current form going into it. Obviously, conceding a goal in the 3rd minute is going to knock your morale a bit, especially when you're David De Gea. And
That's terrible.
You have about 3 minutes to pass the ball out, and you see a striker running, so you pass it straight to him. It rebounds off and goes into the goal. But luckily, their goalkeeper had as much of a mare as ours did. So Bruno Fernandes's shot outside the box beats Jordan Pickford at his near post. And then that was pretty much it. About 20,000 yellow cards came after that. About 7 in total. A red card.
20,000, one of the two.
A red card for the manager as well, for Ancelotti, after Cavalloni's goal got disallowed in the 93rd minute. A bit of controversy about that. Should it have been allowed? Should it have been allowed?
I don't know.
Definitely it should.
Yeah, it definitely should have. I've seen people arguing that he potentially was impeding the keeper, but you can see from when they've broken it down that De Gea can see over him, even when the deflection comes in, not just from the original shot.
Yeah, even as a United fan, you can see he sat on the floor and nowhere near De Gea's eyesight, but we got away with that one. So
you're happy.
Yeah.
I put this out on Twitter the other day at Arch Corbett, and I made a point that I genuinely think this season seems to have the standard of goalkeeping in terms of the errors that have taken place. I don't know the numbers behind it. I'm just hypothesising that the goalkeeping standard seems to have just dropped across the board. Like individually, there are some good keepers: Alisson, Edison, Leno on his day. You know, there are some good keepers, but they all have their mistakes in them, and it seems like that's coming even more to the fore in this season. I don't know. Any thoughts on that?
I think that the errors are coming with... I think nowadays keepers are expected to do a lot more than what they used to, so I think there's a lot more pressure on them. For example, back in the day, it was just keep the ball out of the goal and just boot it out of the pitch. Now they're almost like a sweeper. They're a third centre back, and they've got a lot more responsibility, which puts so much more pressure on them, especially with their ball play ability, where mistakes definitely come. And yeah, the added responsibility just, I think, possibly leads them to make more mistakes as they are on the ball a lot more.
Yeah, completely. They are definitely expected to do a lot more. And a lot of the errors you do now see from keepers are trying to play out the back too much, and they all think that there's incredibly good ball playing, almost centre halves they kind of play as at times. So yeah, I do think that's also leading to errors. But I just think there's been a lot of errors in terms of just like general goalkeeping and just like shot stopping and stuff like that. I don't know. Maybe it's just highlighted more by the fact that they're also giving it away with their feet. Who knows? But shall we move on to the FA Cup? The 2 games that we're going to talk about in that.
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool.
Cool.
Chelsea, they hosted Liverpool. We're going to talk about another Liverpool loss because it happens so rarely. We feel like we've got to talk about both of the losses.
We don't have a agenda against Liverpool.
We don't. Liverpool, honestly, you're not actually that bad.
I actually like Liverpool.
Yeah, your fans aren't actually that bad. It's just overhyped as to how bad your fans are. They're completely fine. City fans are 10 times worse, if anything, as I've experienced. Got tens of them, just tens, coming after me. But yeah, no, a Chelsea win, 2-0 in the FA Cup to move them on to the quarter-final at home to Liverpool. It was a slightly weakened Liverpool side, but not something that you wouldn't say, oh, they've chucked out the kids. I mean, there was some experience in that lineup. What? Why are you giving me a weird look? Because I said chucked out the kids. Sam, mate, grow up. He hasn't put the kids out onto the pitch, has he? He hasn't chucked out an under-16s team. He's put out some fairly experienced heads.
He's put a few inexperienced players out.
True, but they're players of an experience that have played in previous rounds. It's not like they're players making their debut. I mean, even the young players that they've got, the likes of Jones, Williams. Well, it's basically just those two, who are the youngsters.
Exactly.
And they've both played in previous rounds and have made Premier League appearances. So I mean, their front three was still including Mane. Their midfield still included Fabinho. Their defence still included Van Dijk and Joe Gomez and Andy Robertson. But their biggest issue, which we'll go on to later, was Adrian. But yeah, no, a 2-0 Chelsea win. Early goal for Willian and a rare Ross Barkley goal in the second half propelled the Blues to the quarter-final. Is he going to the Euros? I genuinely think he might do, if I'm honest.
Who?
Ross Barkley.
Yes, because Southgate's an idiot.
Not an idiot. He just likes him a lot.
He's not good, though.
No, he's not. He's not very good.
He's terrible.
Terrible's far.
I could name you so many midfielders.
Yeah, no, so could I. But it doesn't make him
English.
terrible. It doesn't make him terrible if there are players better than him.
He's very average, and if he goes, then I just don't know why, because it's stupid. Where's he? No, he should go.
Do you not think?
No, definitely not.
Fair enough then, mate.
One point on the Chelsea-Liverpool game. Chelsea did also have an 18-year-old midfielder, Billy Gilmore, in their side, and he actually got man of the match.
Yeah,
so,
I'm gonna talk.
There was kids on both sides, to be fair.
Yeah, no, exactly. We'll go on to Billy Gilmore a little bit more later because he had a cracking game. But yeah, no. So 2-0 Chelsea win. They move on to the quarterfinals. This would be huge for Chelsea if they're able to actually go on and win the FA Cup with this such a young squad and Lampard in his first season of Premier League management. This would be massive for them. Moving on to the other FA Cup game. Well, not the only other one. It's just a game we want to talk about. I predominantly want to talk about it because we won a game of football away from home. And it was at Fratton Park. It is Fratton Park, isn't it? The Portsmouth grounds. Fratton Park, yeah?
Yeah, it is.
Sweet, okay. Just because I got the Atletico Madrid one wrong about a week or so ago, so I'm kind of paranoid. But yeah, no, it was a Socrates wonder goal for the first one. Portsmouth dominated early possession, but Reece Nelson drilled in across to Socrates, a controlled strike, sort of first-time volley, and then a quick Eddie Nketiah tap-in saw Arsenal move on to the quarter-final, a competition that we are so successful in, historically at least, and I think we just got to go all out for it, if I'm honest with you. But yeah, no, good game. Anything to say on that one, lads?
Not really, no.
Fair enough.
Well done on your win.
Thank you.
Against a all right Portsmouth side.
Yeah, they were bloody terrible. They were, they weren't amazing. They didn't start great. Well, they started fairly well, and then they just faded and didn't really offer an awful lot. But yeah, no, decent game. Moving on to another cup. This time it was the EFL Cup final. Sorry, the Carabao Cup final. It's encouraged me to go get so many energy drinks. I can't lie. It's great calling it Carabao. I'm sure their sales have gone through the roof. But yeah, no, City took this 2-1 win. Sam, what do you want to say on this?
Yeah, no, City deserved to win it at the end of the day. 2-1 is actually not a terrible result for Villa. I mean, I know they lost in the final, and it's not like a league
Helps
game.
the goal difference.
Yeah, but it's like it could have been a lot worse for them. They definitely didn't embarrass themselves. If you're a Villa fan going to Wembley, for example, and like it's better to lose 2-1 than lose like 6-0 or whatever.
Who would do that? We battered them, I think 5-0 in an FA Cup final a couple of years back.
Exactly.
So yeah, they've improved a lot since that, certainly.
Yeah, but it's Aguero got the goal, Rodri got the goal. Before him, Samata got a goal back for Villa, and yeah, it stayed that way. Phil Foden was
incredible,
brilliant, and deserves a lot more playing time. But I guess it's quite hard to get into a team with David Silva and De Bruyne in front of you.
But Guardiola keeps talking about how he's like the best player he's ever coached.
You've
coached Lionel Messi, man. Are you all right?
He said he's the best player he's coached since Lionel Messi.
Oh, so since Messi, he's the best player he's coached, and he won't play him in the league. Unbelievable. But yeah, no, as you say, deserved City win. Villa had a chance at the end to win it, actually. Was it Gilbert header? No, who was it? Engels header, saved by Bravo. That was their chance, really. But yeah, City deserved the win at the end of the day. And we'll throw it back to you, Sam, as you are donning your lovely, I must say, Fulham shirt. Has he got Cairney on the back?
Nah, this one doesn't.
It's got a Daffabet sponsor though, so that's what you want. Is that this season's one?
Yeah, this is the season's.
So it's nice.
Got this to our birthday.
Nice pattern on the front actually. I quite like it.
Yeah, it's pretty fresh to be fair.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and so is your game at the weekend. Pretty fresh.
2-0 winner against Preston, and yes, not a bad result to be fair. Could definitely a win that we needed right now. We took the lead in the I can't even remember, to be honest.
In the what? Championship?
No, not in the championship. Who scored the first goal?
Oh dear.
He
calls himself.
Oh yeah, of course fan. It was David Nugent. Of course, it was
David Nugent on goal.
Yeah, I forgot about this. The cross into the box of David Nugent, a beautiful flick into the back of the net. Incredible. I said before the game that I'd be really angry if David Nugent scores in 2 games against us this season, and he did. But luckily, it was for our team, and I'll take that all day long. And we had the better of the game. Before in the last minute, literally everyone went up for a corner, apart from the keeper, and Abubakar Kamara got the ball and did what he does best off the bench, runs. No one could catch him. Sweated the ball to Cavallero, who thought, I'm just going to wait a bit, try and take it past a few defenders and just be an idiot with it. And then he passed it back to Kamara, who then made the play on the line with his finish. And yeah, it was a deserving goal for Kamara and a great win that will propel Fulham to probably the playoffs. Yeah,
not automatic promotion for you lads. No, good win though. You got a pretty tricky schedule coming up, as we'll talk about in predictions. So if you want to elaborate more on that when we get to that, you're more than welcome to. Shall we, Dan, move on to Twitch trending?
Can do, mate.
Sweet one. I'll kick things off with Jude Bellingham. He is trending because he's off to Dortmund, according to rumours, if had to be believed. What's the fee? What's the fee rumoured for that?
35 million euros. Wow,
absolute dollar.
That would break Dortmund's record transfer fee and would be around double what they paid for Haaland.
Jeez, for a 16-year-old kid from Birmingham. Unbelievable. Honestly, I think it's great. It's massive, isn't it? It's absolutely huge. They'd be going to Dortmund. I mean, unbelievable, to be honest with you.
It's not confirmed yet, but it's rumoured to be quite likely.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't do what that Wigan fullback did and ask for more money from one of Europe's top teams.
Yeah, he's not Anthony Robinson, though.
No, Anthony Robinson, that's it. Yeah, I forgot his name.
He's an idiot. He's an Everton reject anyway, like...
Sam, can we stop roasting young players on this podcast for little reason? He's an idiot. He can't just judge his character off of wanting more money from one of the biggest teams in Europe.
He's an idiot for trying to get more money from AC Milan.
You didn't give context. You just said he's an idiot.
Oh, well, I was going to expand before you flipping...
No, you weren't. You weren't saying anything along those lines. Yeah, exactly. Dan knows.
He's an idiot for not wanting... for not just taking the money they were offering and trying to... get his career started at AC Milan, because at Everton he was not great and never really got an opportunity. He went to Wigan, started playing really well in the Championship, bright young player. AC Milan comes calling. I don't care how much you're offering. If you can live off it, take it. Honestly, if you can live off the money that they're giving you, take it. I don't know why he's trying to be...
Looking back on it now, it's probably a good decision.
Would you say so?
Yeah, well, he's less likely to get ill.
I mean, on that basis, but not a football basis.
On the basis of a living, I think it was probably a good idea. Looking back on it,
he did avoid one there.
Yeah. Right. Should we move on to the next part of Twitter trending? It's Victor Wanyama. Dan, why is he trending?
He's moved with Thierry Henry to Montreal, hasn't he?
Yeah. Out into the great MLS.
Into the godly MLS, mate.
Yeah, out to Retirement Central. He's playing in Canada though. He's not going to somewhere like LA, Miami. He's just
nowhere fancy,
just Montreal.
Yeah.
Probably a nice place. Never been actually. Might be quite nice. But yeah, no. Apparently Thierry Henry wanted him. Not sure why. But then again, it is the MLS. So I guess if you're playing out there, Victor Wanyama's probably going to look like Clarence Seedorf or something like that. So I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure Victor Wanyama will be pulling the strings out of Montreal. But yeah, no. So that's basically all there is on that. Let's move on to the next part of Twitter trending, along the similar lines of what we were talking about Anthony Robinson. Well, no, that sounds like Anthony Robinson's got coronavirus. He doesn't. But he's not out in today's. Yeah, if you listen to what we were just talking about, you'd know why. Jurgen Klopp was talking about actually refusing to talk about the coronavirus. What did he say, Sam?
He basically was he got asked about it, and he was like, I don't know why you're asking me. I'm not a medical expert. My opinion's not actually really relevant to this topic. I'm not going to give you a good answer on stuff about it because I don't really know about it. I'm just a football manager with a dodgy beard and a cap.
Yeah. I love that response. He's so honest and so right as well. Like, I'd include ourselves in this bracket. There's been loads of people that have been talking about it aren't properly educated on it. I mean, we've spoken about it on the podcast before, but in reality, we don't really know anything. I mean, we know that people are dying of it, and we know that there's now 85 cases in the UK, but that's about the extent of our knowledge. And yeah, I guess football managers is not really their place to be talking about it, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, no, I agree, but I don't know. I say talking about it on our podcast, alright, because like might as well tell people what we know, but like I don't think
not much more than anyone else.
Yeah, I know. No, that's true.
We just do it to fill time, to be honest with you. And Brilliant. It was news. Yeah, well, it was, to be fair. Sam, this one's of fairly decent interest to you. If you want to look up from your phone for like a minute, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Sweet. You called it a few weeks back when Klopp wasn't managing Liverpool. What's happened? What's happened since?
Neil Critchley. I said when he was managing the youngsters in the cup competitions that this is a brilliant experience for him, as it might see him get a managerial job later in his career, and it'll be a great experience for him. And that's exactly what he's done. He's been appointed the Blackpool manager, so which is brilliant for him. And I really hope he has success there. This is a big move for him from Liverpool under-23s to the main manager at Blackpool, and he'll have a lot more responsibilities. But I think that he'll use his experiences, use his contacts in the game, and I think it could be quite a good appointment for Blackpool. You know.
Yeah, Q Blackpool bringing in Divock Origi on loan.
That'd be amazing.
That'd be unbelievable. He just brings along like half of Klopp's squad. That'd be perfect. But no, I would hold my hands up, stand corrected. I disagree with you on the fact that this will probably help him get a job, and it has got him a job. So hands up here. Apologies, Neil Critchley. Well done, my friend. He's probably not my friend. In fact, I don't even know him. Anyway, the last part of our trending talk is a bit of a sad one. Gerard Deulofeu. He's out for a while, isn't he? What's he done?
He has injured himself.
Oh, what's he like?
Oh, yeah,
what are you doing, Gerard?
What a fool! No, he has he's picked up a bad injury. I don't remember. What's he done?
He's ruptured his ACL and torn his meniscus.
Yeah, sounds a bit painful. Meaning that Watford are without, I'd say, their best player.
No, he's made a Sarr, mate. Oof.
Definitely the most creative player.
I'd say this season I'd say their best player. And that could be a big blow as they're looking to fight relegation. However, I don't think it'll affect them too much as they got Nigel Pearson in charge, who I think is a very underrated manager. The way he sets up a team, he's very good at his job in how he just sets up a team to stay up, and he knows the league. He's getting the best out of his players. Doucouré's looking a lot better since he's come in. Sarr's looked a lot better, getting consistent game time as well. Mariappa's started playing well. It's just he's a great manager and he gets the most out of his players, so I don't think it'll affect them too badly.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, as you say, he is their best player, so it will affect them in some way. But yeah, I mean, you know, Pearson's come in with his bus, he's parked it, put the handbrake on, and he's seeing them out of the relegation spots. So fair play to Watford. Unfortunate that Deulofeu is injured, but you've done the country a massive favour. So, you know, Watford FC, we salute you, and Elton John. You're all great. Elton John's their part owner, isn't he?
Yeah,
part chairman?
Yeah,
exactly. Don't give me that look.
Funny.
We can salute him. We can salute him if we want. He's Sir Elton John.
Brilliant film, by the way, Rocket Man.
I've never seen it, mate. I haven't actually seen it.
It's a great film.
Is it a musical, though?
Yeah.
Well, then it's damn. Sorry, I can't.
Nah,
I can't sit through singing. I mean, we were singing at the start of the podcast, which we'll stay.
It's a powerful film, to be fair.
Really?
Yeah.
Powerful in getting people to sleep, presumably, if it's a musical.
No.
Okay. Cool. Well, thanks for that. Well, you know what? After that, I think we should do a film review podcast because that was
Film
content.
reviewer.
Film review, yeah. Anyway, let's. Should we go on to the state of this? We got a couple of things for this.
Yeah, no, let's get onto it.
Sure thing. Dan, do you wanna kick us off with the state of this? What's the state of it at the minute? What's the problem?
Liverpool's goalkeepers, or goalkeeper specifically, in the FA Cup, it's a fairly simple shot from Willian from the edge of the box, potentially outside the box even. He's bottled the shot. It's gone straight in. And yeah, that's Chelsea 1-0 up. So
I guess that Adrian Howler was more of a point leading on to Liverpool's recent struggle in form. I mean, the only reason I really want to talk about it is because it's only a few games that they have lost. Well, a couple of games that they've lost. But even the win that they've got in the last 4 games wasn't convincing against West Ham. And I'm not going to say, do you think they'll bottle the title, because that's 99% out of the picture.
Yeah, they definitely won't bottle the title.
But they were talking about this on TalkSport, and it's the same Adam Catchell bloke that said that Firmino's better than Bergkamp. So take this with a pinch of salt. In fact, take this with a kilo of salt, because he said that he's argued that potentially if Liverpool only win 1 trophy this season, while winning the Premier League is a massive feat, especially for a club like Liverpool that haven't won it yet, if that's the only season they win, that would be a minor failure on their part. I don't know. What do you think about that?
Considering the squad they've got and the talent they've got, if they only win the Premier League, you see sort of like the treble winning sides, the Centurion winning sides, or the domestic trebles, I think it could be seen as a failure. Because, I mean, they've got such low morale at the moment, and going into the Atleti's second leg, if they get knocked out there, then they've only got the Premier League to win. I mean, that's still a great achievement.
Massive for them. We can't understate that completely.
Yeah, it's still a great achievement, but if you see like an achievement, a bigger achievement for Liverpool, it doesn't compare the same as City doing.
Yeah, well, City won a domestic treble and walking pace. Like, I mean, they eased to
just because it's special to Liverpool doesn't mean it's like special to everyone else. Completely. If you know what I mean. So it won't compare with the rest of the league as much as an achievement.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts? Okay, that's your thoughts on this. I was going to ask for your detailed analysis on this, but if you're going to reply with City, then that's fair enough, mate. Any thoughts on this?
I think Liverpool fine. Yeah.
Well, yeah, they're fine, but the point is, like, do you think it could be seen as a minor failure if they only win 1 trophy this season?
No.
How come?
Will it put them with the bigger teams like the treble winning side and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't think they should be. I don't think they should be up there with them. Like, they've been good and they've got a great squad, but unless they have the trophies, the amount of success, or like an incredible Premier League, then no, I don't think they should be up there. But then at the end of the day, Roy Keane came out and was like, you don't get a trophy, it doesn't. I mean, you don't get your medal, and it says how many points you got on the back of your medal. Well, it doesn't matter how many points you get on the back of your medal.
That's what they were so hung up on.
Exactly.
Yeah. We're talking about actual other trophies.
Yeah, but I don't think they're out of the Champions League yet. I think that there's sort of a chance of winning that. And I think if they win the Champions League and the Premier League, I think if they win both, I think they can be one of the big sides. But I think if they only win 1, unless it's the Champions League again, I don't know. If they win 2 Champions Leagues in a row, that's very impressive.
If they win the Premier League and the Champions League this year, they will still go down as one of the best teams in the Premier League history.
Yeah, I agree.
But if they only win the Premier League, it'll be more of a what if, because this team is so talented and has shown it can be so consistent for such a long amount of time that it has the potential to be discussed with alongside that Arsenal Invincible team, the Chelsea 05 team, the United treble winning team. It's got the potential to have that level of status, whereas I think if they only won the Premier League, that they would not be discussed in that bracket, even in the City bracket, to be honest with you, because they won a domestic treble when they won the league. So
at the moment, though, like, people are saying, oh yeah, if that Liverpool's best players are going to leave at the end of the season, and but where are they going to go? Liverpool are the best team in the world.
I think the allure, the historic allure of Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, historically massive teams in Europe.
Liverpool are a historically massive team.
They're true, but they've been there for a while, and a player wants to move on to. I'd say historically, Real Madrid and Barcelona are light years ahead of anyone.
Yeah, but historically, but at the moment, I don't think they're quite there.
Do you not think that the temptation of going to one of those 2 teams and being the main man could be too much for them to put down?
How's that worked out for Hazard? How's that worked out for Griezmann?
He wasn't going to go there and be the main man, though, was he?
Yeah, okay, he's been very average. Like, Bale came in like as he was going to step up when Ronaldo left, and he hasn't.
Yeah.
Or he's been good, but the manager doesn't like him. Premier League players going to Luka Modric first season, he improved, like,
He's won a Ballon d'Or.
Won the Ballon d'Or, but his first season was voted Real Madrid's like worst ever transfer.
Yeah, but that was by their fans, so it's not by
their fans. Why would you want to go to there to be playing in front of that fan base who are horrible? And at Hazard's like ceremony to welcome him as a player were chanting and holding up banners saying we want Mbappe. Like, that's disrespectful. You just signed one of the best players of the world and you're saying you want someone else.
Okay, that's a bit of a tangent, but yeah, no, completely. I think I do still think the temptation of going over those two teams is too much. A player in his career wants to play for Real Madrid or Barcelona over someone like Liverpool.
See, I disagree. I don't think nowadays, I think the Premier League is where you want to be. And I think staying in the Premier League, and Liverpool have a better chance of winning the Champions League at the moment than Real Madrid or Barcelona.
True, but I don't think I think if I'm a Mane or a Salah or someone like that, and Barcelona or Real Madrid come knocking, I'm going.
Yeah, but I don't see them. I don't think they'll come knocking. Personally, I don't see them coming in for them because Barcelona and. Not necessarily Barcelona, but Real Madrid are stacked with wingers. They've got so many wingers, and they are not going to get rid of those wingers because their problem is it's happened with James Rodriguez. And what James Rodriguez is on stupidly high wages, they struggle to ship
They've
him
only
off.
really got 3 wingers.
Who?
Real Madrid. Vinicius Junior, Rodrigo, and Bale.
Hazard.
And Hazard, who's injured.
Isco, they play out wide. Asensio.
Play him in Berlin.
That's
but yeah,
they've changed their transfer policy, haven't they? They've gone from always Galacticos, so they've brought in Hazard, and they seem to buy a new young Brazilian every year, and he seems to turn out fantastically.
Yeah, true.
So I think they're Liverpool potentially they won't get any of their players sniped from bigger teams, or in brackets bigger teams, anymore because they're changing their transfer policy because they've been bitten in the past. So I think Sam's right; they might not get sniped.
I could personally see Mane going to one of Real Madrid or Barcelona in the summer. I think that would be that's my prediction. I could see him going. I could genuinely see him ending up at Barca. I would not put that past Barcelona to go after him. And anyway, shall we move on?
Yeah, let's move on. Let's move on.
We rambled a little bit there. The other part of the state of this is Daniel Sturridge.
Daniel Gothard.
Oh, stop betting, Dan. Yeah, no. Daniel Sturridge has been. What's happened, Sam? You run us through it.
Daniel Sturridge has been banned from playing football and fined around 150 grand. He was banned from football till June, I think it is, for gambling the betting. What?
It was just gambling, breaching gambling rules, which means you're probably betting on a team either in the same league as you or one that you used to play for or something. I can't remember the exact regulations out of that. Yeah, it'd be stupid if he did, but I don't think it would be that. But yeah, that is one of the rules. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's got in big trouble, but I think it's come under a bit of controversy surrounding the punish. I'd agree. We were talking about this before the podcast. I'd agree that punishment's probably about right, but the Leeds keeper, Casilla, who only got an 8-game ban and fined, I think 60 grand, which is like below half.
Peanuts.
And for being racist to Lecco at West Brom, that I don't understand. If you're going to the best thing the FA can be is consistent, or with their.
It wasn't the FA that fined Sturridge, but I know what you mean. Yeah.
Or like with football bodies being consistent, and Sturridge betting, fair enough, it's breach of the rules and. Fair enough, but this guy has been racially abused. He should get locked up. He should be banned from football. I don't even care.
Speech.
8 games. That's nothing. And
you've heard his excuse, haven't you, Kiko?
He didn't know what it meant.
Cool, of course you didn't.
It's like Wayne Hennessy, like Nazi salute. No, what does that mean? Who's Hitler? What?
Yeah, it's stupid, isn't it? It seems like that's a way of them getting out of it. But yeah, Sturridge. Despite he was initially linked with moves away because it first broke that his contract had been terminated with the Turkish team that he's at, and then it came out that actually it was mutually agreed that they terminated the contract because he breached these gambling rules.
He's going to MLS.
Yeah, that's the rumour, isn't it?
That's the rumours that's coming out now. He'll go to
LA
MLS.
or Atlanta because they got Joseph Martinez who's done his ACL.
Yeah.
So they're the two clubs that he's looking to go to, but he won't be going there for a while, will he? Because he's banned from football.
No, exactly, till June. So
Into Miami all the way, mate.
Yeah, that's the rumour as well. Into Miami's another one that he could also go to, which could be Beckham's first big sign.
Everyone keeps interviewing Beckham, being like, "Oh, you bring a Ronaldo, you bring a Messi." Oh, you're never going to bring a Ronaldo. No, they're never going to go to the MLS.
You've got to remember where they are. They're in America. I mean, don't get me wrong. They could bring in some washed-up old players. Fine. They could
Cavani and David Silva.
Exactly. I could see one of those feasibly happening maybe next season. But not right now while David Silva's still starting for Man City. But yeah, maybe in the future I could certainly see that happening. But yeah, no. Daniel Sturridge. So Andros Townsend also spoke about this on TalkSport. He spoke about his struggles that he had when he was gambling when he was younger. And I think he got a ban and a fine for breaching gambling rules when he was younger. So it is clearly an issue in football, and it's something that footballers need to be wary of, especially with the status that they have. But yeah, anything more to say on that?
Well, Joey Barton also got fined for doing it a few years back. He bet on his own team, which is terrible.
That is stupid.
And the funniest thing is, he always I think he always bet against his own team, apart from in one game against Fulham, where he bet on Man City to win, and Fulham won 2-1. I love it.
Brilliant. So there you go. Don't gamble, kids, but follow our Archie tips. Anyway.
Brilliant.
Should we go on to Wonder Kid watch? Sam, have you got a Wonder Kid?
Yeah, I have. That's why I was on my phone.
Right, okay, I was going to say, because I was sort of like, I've got two down here and I've not got yours. We always normally, I'm going to throw this at you, Dan, I'm sorry. We always get the guest to start things off with Wonder Kid watch. Is that all good?
Yeah, I can start.
Sure, mate.
So my Wonder Kid is Sam McCallum, a guy I actually grew up with, to be fair. He's currently starting at left back almost every week now for Coventry City in League One.
Left back in the changing room.
So for quite a short guy, he's competing in quite a physical league at the moment. And he's doing really well, to be fair. He scored a couple of goals, so he's quite good going forward. His tackle percentages are okay. He wins a lot of duels, quite a lot of aerial duels for a short guy as well. And yeah, he has secured his move to Norwich for next season, but he's been loaned back for this season. So yeah, he's definitely one to watch next season in the Championship, and if he can sort of compete with the upped physicality of the Championship compared to League One. But yeah, he went through Jamie Vardy's V9 academy, so went from Herne Bay to Coventry, which is quite a leap up. And yeah,
he's been doing fairly well.
Yeah.
So from your experience, your lengthy footballing career,
your lunchtime football experience.
Yeah, well, mate, your career was only cut short by knee injuries. You were going pro. You've played with this guy. What would you say is the trickiest thing about playing against him from a personal level?
From a personal level, gee.
Yeah. I'm not asking you for like star sign, just like what's it like playing against him? Like, what's his best attribute, that sort of thing?
He was like really quick. He's got a hell of a long throw on him. Like, you wouldn't expect that from him, but playing at left back, he's ridiculous how far he can throw it. He was so skillful, to be fair. And he could do anything. Like, obviously it's a school lunchtime, but so if you're
schooling you on the playground.
If you're a Championship quality player, you're gonna look like you can do everything. But yeah, he was great to play with.
I want to dig into this. What are your earliest childhood memories with him?
Secondary school, so year 7. So not exactly childhood memories, but
hey, you were a child in year 7, Dan, by law.
To be fair,
chill out.
Yeah, nothing much more to say really.
Did he ever come around your house?
Nope.
Did you ever go around his house?
Nope.
Oh.
It's not sure it's really relevant though, is it?
No, was he in your year?
Yeah.
Oh, fair. I was trying to dig out all this.
Get the personal story.
Exactly.
Yeah, he was a good mate, to be fair. He was one of those guys that I wasn't that close with him, but he was always a nice guy, to be fair. Even like just running around on the field. Like.
Yeah. Are you still in contact now?
Yeah, I wouldn't say he was cocky. Like, he was never cocky, but you could tell he knew he was good.
Yeah. Well, so when he nutmegs you for the 5th time, that's when you stop being friends with him.
Yeah, but I guess you kind of need that arrogance to make it in football today.
Oh yeah.
That's something you lacked, wasn't it, Daniel?
Yeah.
That's why he didn't make it.
It's too kind. He
I
nutmegged
did,
someone
yeah.
and just gave it back to him. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I literally. It's fine. Yeah, sorry.
I've ended your career for the 200th time for this lunch. I promise you I won't do it again.
Yeah, no.
Is that all on the great Sam McCallum then?
Yeah, I think so, mate.
Fair enough. Well, if you're all right, Sam, I'm going to crack on with my Wonder Kid on Wonder Kid Watch. I've gone with a guy who's been talked about more in the last couple of days than he has been prior in his career. The Scottish wizard, Billy Gilmore.
The golfer.
Is there a golfer called Billy Gilmore?
No, there's
Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore.
Brilliant, yeah. Fair enough.
Reference to that film.
Oh, good mate. It is a good film, to be fair. I won't lie. I don't think Billy was in it, but it's a good film nonetheless. But yeah, no. On another note, Billy Gilmore, Scottish central midfielder, more of a holding midfielder. He played in the same role as Jorginho in the 2-0 win against Liverpool. Not a very big guy. Very short, in fact. In fact, his birthday's actually 5 days before mine. Random.
Wikipedia.
No, actually, Transfer Market. I've just looked at that now. Anyway, He's not really got his massive break at Chelsea yet, but he's a very good player. Sits as a holding midfielder, always very vibrant with the ball and off of the ball, very good at winning back. One of his best qualities is actually winning it back and then playing it forward, so sort of carrying the ball forward. Played in that holding role, but brought more dynamism than someone like Jorginho would. He was more box to box than Jorginho would, whereas Jorginho normally likes to sit and dictate play from deeper. He looked very bright in the game against Liverpool. In fact, he got man of the match, as Dan alluded to earlier. Very good player. Hasn't actually been capped for Scotland yet, which I don't get. How he hasn't been capped for Scotland, of all countries, is unbelievable. He's been capped at their under-21 level. But never. He's been capped actually 12 times and scored at the under-21 level, but he's never actually been capped at the senior level. But I'm sure off the back of this performance, and I'm sure he'll get a bit more game time, I could see him not going to the Euros because Scotland won't be going there. But if they got into the Euros, there's a chance that he could go.
I don't know. Scotland managers are always stupid. They never bring Cairney, and he'd probably be one of the best centre mids.
Sam, this is an opportunity for you to rant about Tom Cairney
Yes,
not being selected for Scotland. He probably doesn't want to be selected for Scotland.
No, it's just that they don't select him. Because
Didn't he say he wanted to play for England?
Yeah.
Well, there we go. That's probably why he's not selected.
Yeah, that is
I could
why
say
he's
I want to
not
get selected for
selected.
Angola, and I'm not going to get selected. It's
Yeah, I know, but he was he got asked if the opportunity to play for England came about, would you want to play? And he was like, well, yeah.
disgraceful.
And then he never got the chance.
Has he even watched Braveheart?
But loads of players have done that. It's just stupid.
All right, okay. Well, thank you. I mean, it's not very Billy Gilmore based. It's just a chance
I
for you to
I'm
rant.
sorry. It's just I went off on a tangent.
It's all right, mate. It wasn't your tangent to go on, but we'll roll with it.
Okay.
He's played Premier League 2 a lot of this season. Played 11 games, 2 goals, 4 assists. But he looked very good in the game against Liverpool, which against the best team in the country isn't easy to do. He absolutely pocketed Fabinho the whole game. Fabinho looked woeful, and it was because of Billy Gilmore predominantly. So that's all there really is to say on him. He's certainly one to watch. Chelsea fans are excited about him. I understand why, because he's a very good player. That's pretty much all there is to say. Sam, do you want to go on to who you've got for your Wonder Kid watch? Because I don't know. You didn't tell me.
I've gone for the brother of Ryan. I've gone for Steven Sessegnon. I've gone for Fulham right back, and this year's been his breakthrough year at Fulham. He's been cut into the team a lot more before this season under Djukanovic and under Djukanovic he's been playing like a cup and he's been getting a few opportunities. But this season he's been given some opportunities in the league. He's played 11 times and he's I'd say he's performed. He's made errors, of course, but he's only 18 years old. Playing at right back. And straight away, people basically just jumped to the back and did what I did and basically called him the brother of Ryan. And I just say that now just because it's a joke because he's his own player. He came out of his interview. He was like, "I'm my own player." He's a lot different to Ryan. To be fair, Ryan is more physically relies more on his physical attributes, but Steve Sessegnon. I don't think Steven Sessegnon would get that move to a right wing like Ryan got moved from left back to left wing. He's more of a technical player, better defensively. He's a lot more versatile. He's played right back, centre back, left back, CDM, and left mid. In his time at Fulham,
he's played centre back and left mid.
Yeah, through the youth academy and
first and a half.
in his time in the Premier League 2 and his time in the first team. And yeah, no, he's a promising talent. He's been capped England under-21s. He won the he won the World Cup for the under-17s with England, and he looks like a promising prospect. He really does. Yeah, I could see him. The thing is, I could see us if we got promoted. I could see this hindering his career because I don't think he'd play in the Premier League.
Could you see him loaning him out though?
Yeah, I think we probably would have to. But
best for his career.
Yeah, it would be best for his career. If we went up, it'd be best if we loaned him out and then basically played him when we get relegated again. So, but yeah, he's a great player with definitely a promising future, but with Premier League football possibly on the horizon, we'll have to see how it goes.
Very possibly, indeed. So looking back at the end of their careers, if you were to look back in 20 years' time, Sam, I know you said he's his own player, but who do you think's going to have had the better career out of the Sessegnon brothers?
That's a tough question. It all depends on how well Steven develops, but it honestly wouldn't surprise me if it was Steven.
Really?
Steven's a much better technically than Ryan, and I think that's what hinders him a bit. If Ryan became a bit more physical and a bit better technically than him, but if he keeps getting played out of position at Tottenham, then I don't think that'll do his career any good.
It would also help if he missed less sitters. But there we go. So is that all we got on Wonder Kid Watch then, lads?
Yeah, that's
I've nearly butchered that. Right, we will end the podcast as we always do. We have got 6 games that we've earmarked, 3 Premier League, 3 Football League, and we're going to predict them, and we're going to show our massive knowledge on the Football League and our lack of it on the Premier League, or the other way around, depending on how you want to look at it. As we always do, we throw the guests in at the deep end. We give them the hard-hitting questions. Dan, what's your score prediction for Liverpool, Bournemouth? It's the early kickoff on Saturday. What's your prediction?
I think it'll be tighter than everyone thinks it will be, because obviously Liverpool did not have a great week. But then again, it is Bournemouth, and they've been woeful this season. So I'm saying, I think 3-1 is a fair result.
Liverpool bounce back, do you reckon? Then?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
At home to Bournemouth, surely it can't get worse.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, games don't get much easier than that in the Premier League, other than like Norwich at home. I mean, like away at Bournemouth is a little bit of a different matter.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're Chelsea's bogey team, to be fair, but
massively, yeah.
I just think Liverpool will have too much to overcome them. They'll play a full squad because they're rested for the FA Cup. So.
Yeah, no, they should do. I could certainly see them bouncing back. Sam, what's your prediction for this game?
3-0 Liverpool. I think Liverpool bounce back and just they need to demolish a team and get back to winning ways. I think this is a big game of their season, as Bournemouth aren't great, and Liverpool just kind of need to smash a team just to get back to winning ways. I think it'll be 3-0.
Sure, well, you know what, lads? To buck the trend, I think Liverpool's woes are going to continue. Maybe this is more what I want than what I think, but I'm not going to go as far as to say that Bournemouth are going to beat Liverpool. But I could see a 1-1 draw on the cards. Bournemouth will take the lead through a Dejan Lovren own goal, and then they'll score in the last minute to save their blushes slightly. Interesting stat. Right, Liverpool have won their last 5 Premier League matches against Bournemouth by an aggregate score of 17-0. So, doesn't bode well for our cherries. But I'm sure Eddie Howe will go there and outclass Jurgen Klopp. I'm confident of it. Yeah, no, I could genuinely see a 1-1 draw coming on the cards. Liverpool bad run of form. While my head's saying they'll bounce back, my heart's saying Bournemouth will give them a game. We'll move on to one of the games that we've got on Sunday in the Premier League. It is Chelsea. They host revitalised, I'd say, Everton in a 2:00 kickoff. Dan, what's your prediction for this game?
I think this will be a tight one. Chelsea are down in form. Everton are up in form. They're almost they're going to come together in the table soon if they carry on that way. Calvert-Lewin's been in good form. I'd say 2-2. Everton away, 2-2.
Nice. Yeah, no, that's probably a sound prediction. I could see it being quite a high-scoring affair, actually. No, I completely go along with that. Sam, what are you going with?
2-1 Everton. I rate what Everton have done under Ancelotti, and probably deserved a result against United the other day, after being robbed of that goal. But yeah, Chelsea look all right recently. They're a bit hot and cold, bit inconsistent. While Everton are the more consistent side, so I think Everton will get an away win 2-1.
But you know what, Sam? That's the score I had in mind as well. Genuinely, I can see Everton going to the Bridge and winning. Chelsea at home are woeful. They're terrible at the Bridge. Everton, as you say, have looked brilliant under Ancelotti, and I can see this trend continuing. Chelsea with 2 major injuries going into this game, Kovacic and Willian rumoured to be out for a fairly substantial amount of time, and I can see that hindering them massively. Kovacic has been their best player this season by a country mile. Kovacic, sorry. Oh wow, you're correcting me on a pronunciation for once. This is a change. Fair enough, mate. Kovacic then. Should we move on to a game that's going to pique Dan's interest? I want no bias here, Dan. Manchester derby at Old Trafford, late kick-off on a Sunday. What you got?
We are at home, so no bias. Kicked off with but we are at home. But City just haven't looked as like last season. City would go anywhere, and you say they're going to win. But this season, you can see sort of.
Sorry, we'll stop.
You can see Rodri sort of not performing too well in the midfield. Fernandinho at centre backs not looking too great. Laporte's just come back. Will he be in action? I think he's just come back from injury.
Yeah, he got injured again, didn't he?
Did he? Play.
Yeah, I think didn't he get injured again?
Yeah, he did get injured.
Yeah.
Okay, so they've got no Laporte either.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go for a draw. I think. I can't say we're going to lose. I'd say 2-2 again.
Nice one. Another 2-2 draw.
Like me last week.
Exactly. Yeah. You and your Desmonds. What are you like? Anyway, Sam. Sam Desmond Cole. What are we going with?
I'm gonna go 3-1 City. I just think that Man City will have too much quality for United. I don't know. It's a tough one to predict, but I think that Man City, after how they played against Villa, that's Villa, but they played really well. They got some quality player. I think they'll have too much quality for United, and I think they'll win 3-1.
Fair enough. I'm going in a similar vein. I'm sorry, Dan. Didn't City once beat you at Old Trafford like 6-1? Was it at Old Trafford?
I think I might have been at the Etihad.
It might have been the Etihad. Either way, they've got a history of battering you, and I genuinely see them winning 4-1.
Fair enough.
All right, or maybe 5. We'll go 5. I reckon this will be a right dragging back down to earth for United, who have been okay recently. I could see City absolutely mullering you. I'm really sorry. I just see them going on a rout. You haven't won the last 3 games in the Manchester derby at home. Which doesn't bode too well going into the 4th. Right, so I don't see you stopping that run, and I can see you getting absolutely battered. I'm really sorry. Sete. Yeah, no, I can see Noel Gallagher banging in a couple, and
Benjamin Mendy.
Benjamin Mendy, both of them
parade in the changing room.
They will be singing Wonderwall. That's it. That'll be the celebration. Noel Gallagher brace inbound. Anyway, let's go on to the Football League. A game that will pique Sam's interest, so we won't start with him. We'll go a big game. Actually, should we start with Sam or should we start with you, Dan?
I think we should start with Sam.
You've got your Fulham shirt on, Dan. Sam, I'd feel... Your names sound too similar. It's unfair. I've got a Sam and a Dan next to me.
Dan has his Fulham shirt on. Thanks Dad, for the repping. Big Fulham fan.
Yeah. Predict me Bristol City Fulham.
Oh,
do
tight.
It now.
Very tight. I think this game will be...
Out of context, Sam Cole. Anyway, carry on.
I think this game will be a close game between both sides. Both vying for playoffs. Bristol City, I think, are 7th, while Fulham are 3rd. It's a must-win for both sides. Fulham go for automatic and Bristol City go for playoffs. But I think that Fulham will win, maybe.
Oh, hang on. What's this record with you in predicting Fulham?
No, this hasn't. So for Fulham, I write Fulham Focus, which are a Fulham fan page, and they basically, whenever I do a prediction, I do the match previews for some of the games, and I think I've previewed about 8 now, and against Swansea was the first ever time I'd actually predicted us to win, and we have.
Hey.
So, but I've broken the record now. Buzzing with that. But I think that Fulham will win 2-1, and I really hope and pray they do.
That's fair enough. I see both teams cancelling each other out. I see a 1-1 draw at Ashton Gate. Ashton Gate, is it?
Yep.
Oh, again, me and my stadiums were all right. Yeah, I can see Bristol City away is not going to be an easy one. They're just outside the playoffs, Bristol City, and you're vying for automatic promotion spots. So they're 5 points behind Leeds. And I don't necessarily, I don't see you losing, but I'm not convinced by you away. So I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw. Dan,
I'm going to go with confidence if I'm going to say a 2-1 away.
good man. Reasons at all, or just they'll win? They'll score more goals than Bristol City.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, that seems fair. That's
Insight.
Good logic there. I like it. You should write for Fulham Focus instead, mate. That's disgraceful. Anyway, let's hop on over to League One. The team that your best mate on the planet ever, Sam McCallum, plays for. Coventry City. They host rather disappointing Ipswich side this season. Sam, as it's Football League, will kick things off with you. What's your score prediction for this game?
I think that Coventry will win this 3-0. It's quite a... I don't know. Coventry are in such a great form. They find themselves top of the league on 64 points. Meanwhile, Ipswich are 3 losses in a row, down in 9th, and they're not looking great under... I think... What's their man? I think it's Paul Lambert, isn't it?
Their manager is Paul Lambert.
Yeah, it's still Paul Lambert, who recently signed a new deal despite having complications with the club. I don't know, a misunderstanding with the club. And, yeah, so I don't think there's... Ipswich should be going back up because Ipswich kind of belong in the Championship, I think. I think the Championship, Ipswich were the clubs I think of. And they're underperforming this year. Meanwhile, Coventry are having an amazing year, and it would be great to see them back in the Championship if they go up. I remember Gail Bigaramada. That's my memory of him in the Championship. And I think that Coventry win this 3-0.
That is so random, but I love it. I'm going with a Coventry 2-0 win. As you say, Ipswich 6 points outside the playoffs. They are a Championship side. So the fact that they're underperforming like that's worrying. Paul Lambert's actually blames the fans for losing, which is just endearing them to the Ipswich faithful evermore.
Winning their hearts.
Really is. The Tractor Boys must love him. As Dan, you mentioned before, Coventry's game in hand, and I can see them carrying on their blistering run of form at the top of the table. We'll move on to you, Dan. What's your...
I'm in agreement with you boys, but I think it's going to be tighter. I think it's going to be 1-0 Coventry. I think they've scored early in almost every game in the last few games, like 2-3 minutes in. I think that will happen again, and then they'll see it out 1-0.
Yeah. Who's going to score the goal, though?
I think we've got to back it.
We've got to go
It's got to be Sam McCallum top bins.
It's got
to be Sam McCallum top
I'm
bins.
going to Sam McCallum.
He's definitely going to score. Do you think Mark Robbins might get a goal, though?
Why not? 1-0 Sam McCallum.
Do you think he'll get an assist, though? He's been doing really well for them recently. Do you think he'll score?
Potentially, but if I'm saying it's 1-0, then there's only one man. There's only one man for the goal, mate. There's only one man for the goal.
I've done it again, lads.
He's done
Mark
it
Robbins again. So
He's
basically,
done it
Dan,
again.
if you'd listened to my last full English,
which you clearly haven't.
I baited out my brother by saying, "Do you think Mark Robbins will score for Coventry?"
Who's the manager?
Mark Robbins
just
is their
doesn't play
manager.
for him, yeah.
He's their manager. So that's two in a row, mate. Honestly,
2-0.
To be fair, I didn't say he'd score.
Well, no, you said he probably wouldn't, but you said there's a chance he might.
Yeah.
What if he has to come on? You never know.
I'll be impressed. You can justify it all you like, mate. I'm sorry, I've baited you out.
Moving on.
That's 2 for 2.
I have too much faith in my boy.
Yeah, exactly. Too much faith in the Coventry manager.
Blind devotion to Sam McCallum.
Anyway, let's move on to League 2. Predictably, we've gone with Northampton again. They host Mansfield. Sam, what are you going with?
I think Northampton are going to win 2-0 with a Sam Hoskins brace.
2 penalties.
Oh no, we gotta stop this. We really do. Our for reference, also now our 7-a-side team is called Sam Hoskins Fan Club.
We love it to bits.
It's really good. Yeah, the host of the tournament actually asked us if it was sarcastic or not. So we had to maintain our love for him. Of course, it's not sarcastic.
Yeah.
He's one of the greats. What are you going with, a 2-0 win, are you? Actually, a Sam Hoskins brace.
Oh no, we're not going for Sam Hoskins brace. Of course I'm not, but I think it'll be a 2-0 win.
Of course I'm not. Yeah, that's fair enough. I'm going to this game. Shout out the family for taking me to this game.
Kev Corb.
Yeah, Kev Corb, Bon Corb, Bro Corb, who featured in my last one. All the Corbs. going to the PTS Academy Stadium. We're going to bring the life. We're going to be the life of the stand. We're going to be like the ultras. But yeah, no. Moving on. Northampton, they sit firmly in the playoff spots at 6th at the minute. On the other hand, Mansfield haven't had a great season of it. They've had a torrid time, in fact. They sit in a lowly 21st, and they could really be doing better, but they're not. So I see a 3-1 Northampton win. I don't see them keeping a clean sheet. This new lad that they've got from West Brom looks very lively. Callum Morton, that's his name. He looks brilliant, and I can see him grabbing a couple, and I can see Nicky Adams getting a goal. That's my prediction. Dan, do you wanna end
I'm gonna go 2-0 Northampton. I think same as Sam. I don't think Sam Hoskins will score a brace unless it's a couple of penalties. Yeah, I think that's it from me.
That seems like a fair assessment of things.
Just quickly, would you say Callum Morton's been looking great? Would you?
Great. He looks good in the last game. He looked fairly bright. I really like the look of him.
I think he's decent. I don't think he suits the style of play, but it means that whenever the ball's been knocked down, Northampton do have a player who can finally finish it.
Yeah. No, I think that's what he can offer.
I don't think he's necessarily involved as much as he should be.
True. I mean, he got a brace in his last game, so he's starting to find more form. I think early on he looked a little bit rabbit in headlights, I'd say.
Yeah.
We saw him, was it against Swindon, and he came on and he didn't look like
he just kind of ran around like a headless chicken.
But I don't think the game suited him. But
the style
of
play doesn't suit him.
No, completely. But yeah, knockdowns from Verdane Oliver. I think that's what he's going to be living off for the next few months.
I think he'd be more suited on the wing, personally.
Do you think? Fair enough. Yeah, he looks like he's got a finishing instinct though. But I can see what you mean. Anyway, Dan, as we always do, we end the podcast by asking one of Lord's great questions. What is your favourite part of a full English breakfast?
Oh, that's a good
What's
question.
your favourite segment?
I think it's got to be hash browns, to be fair.
Hey! Up the lads, join the hash brown gang. Join the hash brown gang.
Hash browns, a side of beans, sausages. Can't beat it.
Oh, you've ruined it with beans, but you know what? I'll go with it.
You've ruined it with beans.
You've ruined it with beans, but you're still in the hash brown gang.
Yeah.
So that's
You don't have beans and you're full English.
No.
We're not psychopaths.
Yeah,
Dan.
we're not stupid.
We don't.
You're like the only two people that doesn't do that.
I don't have beans. I don't have
Beans
tomato.
are
I don't have
disgusting.
tomato.
Oh, no.
Not.
No.
What's your full English? I want to know because I don't know what yours is.
Mine is literally sausage, bacon, and hash browns.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, do you not go egg? No Friday?
No mushrooms?
Nah, fair enough. I'll go
I
Friday.
toast as well.
Fried egg and toast. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's normally fair enough, mate. We've got quite similar ones. Anyway, hash browns. Dan, we've got the scoop. That's what you like. So you know what? We'll bring hash browns to our next lecture. Anyway,
Class.
do you like Mackey's hash browns? That's always the eternal debate because they're very good in my opinion.
Yeah, I rate them.
They're
highly.
really nice. But
I
some people
think
don't
I've
like
had
them.
one, I'm not going
Have
to
you
lie.
not?
I don't
Right,
think I've
I'll
had
introduce you to
They're
them at some point.
89p.
I'm not a McDonald's breakfast man, I'll be honest.
Neither am I normally, but whenever I have to get one, if I'm on the way to an airport
Hash
or
brown
whatever.
is the way
Hash
to
brown,
go.
yeah, I don't get McMuffins or anything like that. I'm not a massive fan, so yeah, I normally just go hash brown. But
But
you know
get a
what?
bacon roll.
Ooh,
if there is
bacon
one.
roll,
Yeah,
That's a good
yeah.
shout, to be fair.
I'd no, all right, okay, Dan. Next time we'll take you for breakfast in town
I'm
centre
not paying.
for a hash brown. All right, flipping hell. All right, stingy Sam, blimey. All
He's
right.
returned.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, I'm not paying. Don't remember asking. Anyway, that's all we've got. That is a full English. Our followers. That's it all. Dan, how do you want to sign off?
Cheers for having me on, lads, and I'll see you in the future.
Yeah, well, you said shut off this podcast, but sure,
Yeah.
you're still there.
I meant the people.
Oh, I
not-
see.
not-
Right, I thought you were
You
us.
might do.
I can see you.
Apologies. Yeah, probably not.
I like
yeah, no, anyway, Sam, do you want to sign off?
Yeah. Bye.
Right, okay, brilliant. Thanks for that, fellas. Appreciate your company, and thank you all for listening. Also, right, comment on this post that we put out what your favourite part of a full English is, right? Well, in fact, we'll put out a poll, all right? We'll put out a poll.
Twitter poll.
We'll work. You know what? You know what we could do?
do an
remember
Insta
to do
poll
We
that.
could
as
do
well.
an Insta poll. We could do an Insta poll on our story, and we can make it like a little tournament, like a tournament between like hash browns, tomato,
Yeah.
and a round of 16. Tell you what, right? This is happening. You're all getting behind this. You're all voting. All right. You don't
Yeah,
get a
we'll
choice.
We'll do it on Twitter as well to see if the two different social medias have different opinions.
Oh, indeed, the sophistication of Twitter against the immaturity of Instagram. Anyway, but I'm
The-
not
the
roasting
big-
the
the big
millions.
battle.
Yeah.
And plug first. Me on Twitter, SamCole2468.
At Arch Corbett. What's your Twitter, Dan? Do you have Twitter?
I do, but I don't really use it.
Right.
So I
Okay.
can't
You know
plug
what?
that.
You're using it now. Okay, we're going to get you to use it more. We're going to get you to revitalise your Twitter. So you look up what your username is while we plug this gap of not really talking about an awful lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, completely. How were your eggs, Sam? What did you have to eat? You had a chunky cheese.
I had some cheese straws and a packet of these Galaxy Enchanted eggs, which I've really been getting into recently.
You have, indeed.
They've been lovely. They are Galaxy chocolate with crunchy caramel rolled in a rose gold.
Well, thank you very much for plugging that gap, Sam. Dan, what's your Twitter?
It is at Daniel Gothard 1, which is the most inventive thing ever.
Well, it is your name, so there we go, mate. Anyway, we have rambled and you've listened, so thank you very much for listening. Have a brilliant week, I guess. And yeah, adios, my friends.
Bye, guys. Thanks for listening.
Peace.